Campers, it's me, Ari Lehman, the first Jason Voorhees. From Friday the 13th, I'm here with AJ, and he's got the juiciest slice ready for you. It's dripping with blood. Jason never dies.
What makes a horror film kill memorable, terrific, even in some way profound or poignant? Let's explore. Thanks for checking this out. If anything about it trips your fancy, please like, subscribe, and share.
Yes.
Without further ado...
Honey, I don't feel so good.
You'll be okay when we get off.
What is it, Maggie? Nothing. It's almost over.
When traveling with friends and one of them is pregnant, the comfort of the lady building a life often becomes the central focus.
Like they say, I think the kid's got football boots, and he uses them to take dancing lessons.
The group of 5 soon befriends Julie, and they invite her to join them on a voyage by sea to a Greek island.
Well, sounds fine, huh? Hell yeah.
Daniel's evidently quite ecstatic. Soon, they're underway, and poor Maggie experiences quite a bout of seasickness, the kind that makes people avowed landlubbers.
It's okay. Don't...
The lady's hubby, Arnold, does his best to soothe her, but there's little chance she's keeping anything down.
Worry about it. It's normal. We're all feeling a little...
Soon thereafter, to kill some time and distract from her tetchy stomach, Maggie sits for a tarot card reading.
This row of cards is the past, this one is the present, and this is the future.
Since why not, she wants to dispense with the preliminaries and get down to the brass tacks.
Oh, come on, Carol. Let's forget about the past and the present. I know about them anyway. Let's skip right to the future.
Of course, what concerns her most is what's to come.
What do you want to know? Well, if it'll be a girl or a boy.
Makes sense that she wants insight into the child in her belly.
Tall, rich, good-looking. I want to know everything about the kid.
The little tyke will be her greatest concern for some time to come.
Put your right hand on the cards. Okay?
Looking for an accurate reading, Maggie imbues the cards with her energy.
Now, choose 3 and turn them over.
She probably assumes this all a parlor trick, a way to pass the time.
There.
In no way understanding that real forces are at play here.
And now, turn over one in the other row.
What the cards reveal to Carol stuns her into silence.
You awake?
The cards are telling her tragedy awaits, but how do you tell the others that? How do you tell people they're on a course that will lead to death?
Hey, Carol.
Would they believe her anyway? A decision of great import needs to be made.
Are you going to talk or not? What do the cards say?
The choice she makes, since their fates are determined, is to hide the truth the cards have laid out, and her gut instinct tells her is the truth.
I don't know, Maggie. Sometimes they're not very clear, and they don't...
Not a time for transparency, apparently. Rather than tell the young pregnant woman that she has no future, she obscures what her intuition tells her is fact.
Always means something. Right now.
Evidence she believes wholeheartedly they sail toward calamity? If a tarot card reader throws out their deck, discards, as it were, their cards. It's a safe bet they believe they may not be around for another sunrise.
Come on, Maggie. Easy does it.
No sooner than they're disembarking, Maggie's bad luck strikes like a bolt of lightning.
Hey, what is it?
Oh, ankle.
Plans foiled in an instant, the flaring pain tells her everything, and she listens.
I think it's a bad sprain. All we needed, right?
Rather than be stubborn and insist on joining the others.
I don't think I can make it up that hill. Sorry.
That's too bad. But be sure to soak your foot in seawater.
Maggie knows it's in her best interest to hang back and not push herself.
Shall I stay with you?
No, I'll be fine. You go on.
Okay.
Arnold evidently has itchy feet and is out of the shot faster than you can say, see you next Tuesday.
So long, Maggie, and thanks again.
Bye, Julian. Have a good vacation.
They go off to explore, while Maggie rests her ankle in ocean water. This example of mise en scene is worrisome, hinting at something dark, that the lady could soon be in bondage.
Go away.
With the others finding proof they better stay on their toes, it's a safe bet. Maggie's in trouble. Confined within the shot, she's totally oblivious the composition demands something untoward has to befall her.
Doofy.
How is the kitty?
Out there in the bright sunlight, there's no reason to think danger lurks.
The water's warm. Could you change it for me?
I miss the kitty.
Jumping too, the man happily helps out the pregnant lady. Unaware the simple action of refilling the bucket will seal his fate. Yikes! Was that an example of reverse fishing?
Doofy!
Maggie is only vaguely suspicious that the man vanished without a trace. So not thinking too much of it, she merely goes about getting her own freshened water. Even in the well-lit environment, a pall does seem to hang over the proceedings. Maggie peers around, perhaps feeling a shift in the air, but still intent on dipping her foot and ankle. With the very real head revealed, something claims Maggie. The others find proof that whatever's happening on this island, it involves people being put on the dinner menu.
God, it's as though she'd been devoured.
With reason to believe they aren't safe, Arnold races back to check on his pregnant wife, only to discover a most peculiar sight. With the yacht adrift, they're trapped on the island, so they make their way back inland. Proximity is everything, and they have no clue the one who's taken Maggie is working right behind their backs. After a long, tense night, Arnold searches the island for his wife. With tangible proof she was brought this way, revealing he's on the right trail. He soon finds himself in the catacombs of a church. Surrounded by decayed bodies, the man maintains his composure. Unwilling to back down from his search. And winds up sort of stumbling into the answers he's seeking. Resulting in about the biggest startle of his entire life.
Maggie!
Looking worse for wear after getting dragged around, Arnold resolves to get her out of there. It won't be easy. The lady is quite out of sorts. Imperative that they move quickly. Arnold doesn't dilly-dally.
Let's get out of here.
It's debatable whether he knows just how much time is of the essence, but there's plenty of reason to think the faster they leave this rotting place, the better. No sooner than he has Maggie ambulatory, the one who took her appears. The air the man exudes makes it obvious he's a heathenish brute, without even a shred of decency or pity.
Go away. Leave us alone.
I consider myself something of a wordsmith, and I would be the first to say this is a situation in which the use of words isn't applicable.
We haven't done anything to you. Please.
If a logical argument won't work on a predator in the wilds, it won't work here either.
Please. My wife is pregnant, you understand?
Seeing a man, disheveled and dirty, but still a man, Arnold refuses to understand.
She's expecting a baby. Our baby. Go away.
That all he's doing is advertising. They come with an appetizer.
Go away. Go away.
The bedraggled beast was once a man named Klaus Wortman. Presented with a nuclear family, he's reminded of the day he committed the act that gouged out his humanity. And left him the bestial monster here before them. Arnold attempts to offer protection. But Klaus means business in that way. That means you had better go at him with the kind of serious intent a guy like Arnold, blunted by civilization, just can't muster. With her man not yet dispatched, but hobbled and made useless, all Maggie can do is watch in terror as death looms in. With nowhere to run, nowhere to hide, and no survival loophole to exploit, the lady tries to flee when that is impossible. Overpowered as a matter of course, there's nothing Maggie can do, as the madman takes full control. When you've been sized up by a voracious predator and deemed a delicate morsel, odds are everything's over but the crying. In the terrible situation of being a powerless and helpless onlooker, Arnold can do nothing but be horrified as the beast does what he wants. But here, from Arnold to every single last one of us who can proceed without impeding our vision, no one will be spared. No cutaway will save us from the brute's disgusting and truly disturbing nature. So outmatched, all Maggie can do is succumb, unable to fight in any way, rendered totally defenseless. Death isn't where it ends. There was a reason for this. Klaus's appetite. not for destruction or death, but the aching hunger roiling in his belly. One without honor, dignity, or integrity, no safeguards from sinking to the lowest depths of evil. Nothing prevents Klaus from committing a truly despicable act. Warped creature though he might be, this isn't unnatural. In nature, eating babies, both born and unborn, is common, an act falling under the descriptor, easy pickings. Like a big juicy cheeseburger, no whole mouthful, Klaus takes a big meaty bite. Sometimes what makes an exit extraordinary is that it dares to go so over the top, to be so reprehensible, so abominable, and so outright twisted, it has the power to offend almost the entirety of the audience, and turn even the strongest stomachs. This one even makes edgelord types pull at their collars, due to the frog stuck in their throats. This exit taps into a very prevalent, and therefore relevant fear, experienced by pregnant women. Here, not only that they could lose their child, but that it could be forcibly extricated. This is right at the intersection of bad taste and too extreme.
Never seen anything like that before in my life.
God did, the day before the flood.
But it also bears historic relevance, mirroring tales that have existed in mythology for millennia. Not to mention Sharon Tate's murder by the Manson family, only a decade in the rearview mirror when this film went into production, also established a real-life precedent for depicting such horrors. A wickedly simple but definite scenario, it puts powerlessness on display like a museum exhibit that could be entitled Monster Devours Hope. So yeah, this film goes places, even a rough and tumble decorum breaker like The Hills Have Eyes only dared imply.
Hello, baby.
You be good dog, you get some.
Maybe I make a joke like last time and eat the toes.
Crossing boundaries of good taste without reservation, catapulting into taboo territory without a thought toward judgment, lasting trauma, or worry of censorship. As an entertainment, it's hard to defend. Like even the more sadistic among us really don't want to see that. But as an art piece, it makes a trenchant point about the overwhelming drive of need, of hunger, the way starvation could push, prod, and pilot some into sky-high madness, even if it began stranded at sea. When a man's worst mistake permanently warped him into a monster. Cannibalism, outside tribal ritual, often arises from desperation. This was so true that myth and legend filled in the gaps to explain why someone would resort to the ultimate desperate act and devour a fellow human being, a built-in excuse that might not save you from the gallows, but would save your reputation, since your crimes would be blamed on something outside your power. In recent years, the Wendigo has firmly taken its place in the pop culture zeitgeist, and become a combination of myth, cryptid, and figure of horror, purported to be a real entity. In one form, the spirit of evil that touches someone and makes them a cannibal. In the other, the emaciated figure stalking dark places that was once the person touched. With history cataloging many instances of survival cannibalism, is it real? Who's to say? I wouldn't dismiss it outright, but as an agnostic, I'd need to see some very compelling evidence before I would commit to belief. What do I believe? When someone is starving, they may become clinically insane. People have been known to eat shoes and other leather goods, which would require quite a crazy hunger. That makes me conclude a starving person, in a mentally compromised state, could be driven to feed their insatiable hunger with human flesh, only to come to their senses later and need a convenient explanation to blame for their odious actions, ergo Wendigo. So I guess to me, in one sense, the Wendigo is real, as an analogy for the mental break that could lead to such behavior. In this case, it could definitely be said that Klaus was brushed by a seafaring Wendigo, but that in no way mitigated his guilt, his dastardliness, or his status as a monster. The act of cannibalizing a baby is the definition of evil, but here it's an unconventional evil. This is because degenerate Klaus is motivated by simple boiled-down need, not the bizarre paraphilias, the debauched hedonism, that drives the sexual depravity and deviance that motivates most serial killer types. Klaus falls more into the role of undiscerning hunter, more animalistic, willing to eat whatever meat came into striking distance, like an extra sinister crocodile, waiting on the water's edge for whatever wandered up. This is apt, because Klaus was a crepuscular hunter, as comfortable prowling for prey during the day as the night. Oftentimes, horror films use darkness as an accomplice to the scares, but this film shows how terrible things also happen in the light of day. Right under the group's noses, Maggie was dragged away. When an unhinged killer is crafty and stealthy enough to go unnoticed under the glare of the sun, it really eliminates the ability to run and hide.
God help us!
How Arnold reacted to his wife vanishing was remarkably subdued, and maybe it had something to do with the notion that under the light of day, it felt less likely something truly terrible happened. Even if she weren't pregnant, if it was my wife that went missing, I would be a dervish and turn over the whole island. But then, due to pervasive paranoia, I've specifically prepared myself to face dangerous situations and aggressors such as Klaus. For one thing, you don't stab at such an opponent, you slash and move, taking him down one cut at a time. Of all the horror movie killers, he's one of the scariest, on a sort of disconnected autopilot that makes him a killing drone, not likely to react to pain or injury even as he's cut down completely. Not to mention how he goes out, but that's a tale for another day.
Well, I'm sincerely glad to hear that, for all our sakes.
Italian horror is far more artful than it gets credit for, since the extreme depictions of violence and crude gore detract when someone has sensitive sensibilities concerning film and what should or shouldn't be shown. Those arbiters of taste that have no trouble with censorship when it's used to condemn material they've deemed too scandalous for the public. I'm more of the David Fincher school of thought, that film should scar or provoke thought. When famine has led to widespread starvation in recent times, sometimes including cases of cannibalism, this film makes a pertinent point that's hard to ignore. It asks how far you would go to survive, and laughs in your face when you deny you could ever be driven to such ends and depths. What it amounts to, most have the capacity where the circumstances presented. Hope those circumstances don't arise, so you don't have to find out for sure on which side of that line you stand.
I apologize for nothing.
Still, as much as I love Italian horror and the limits and boundaries they push, one aspect doesn't sit right with me. To save a buck, back in the day Italian filmmakers, a bit tone-deaf about animal rights, had few qualms against sacrificing creatures great and small for their productions. In the end, all they did was cost their films greater historical heft, by sacrificing any chance at critical acclaim. Cannibal Holocaust is a wonderful social commentary about the savagery of civilized man, compared to that of a tribe of jungle cannibals, undercut by deplorable hard-to-stomach real-life animal kills. That film would have been stronger for excluding what was likely only included, to draw in the looky-loo types, who hear there's something scandalous or controversial, and have to see for themselves. way beyond taking an individualistic stance. Klaus's villain turn was different than most. He didn't revel in evil. No trophies were taken, only meat. He was as matter-of-fact as any cold-blooded predator in the wilds, and that sadly reduced Maggie and the infant she was growing into walking calories. Having lost himself in that horrid act at sea, Klaus no longer identified anyone, even himself, as a person worthy of their life. From Maggie's unjust exit, we can take a lesson about the fine line that exists between civilized and savage, and how but for a handful of circumstances, we could face some of the worst horrors of all. Well, I've about reached the end of the rope, so I won't leave you dangling. Thanks for enduring my ravings. Please share any refutations, opinions, accusations, japes, or other ideas in the comments below. And please join me for whatever I'm up to next time. Bye now!
Bye, creepy man! Keep it creepy!
He's a weird guy.
Goodbye!
That's the juiciest slice. Yeah, not.